here this morning because of this beautiful young lady that's in your class, Allison. She asked me to come and talk about the World War II that I was in. To begin with, my full name is Marcel Joseph Lucien Napoleon Lalande. That's my full name. But all my friends call me Andy, so you can call me Andy. And the way I got this name, Andy, when I was in the service in World War II, they called you by your last name, Lalande. And eventually it came to Little Andy, Lalande, Little Andy, Little Andy, pretty soon just Andy. And it stuck. So I've had Andy for about 70 some years. So all my friends call me Andy, and you can all call me Andy. I joined the Navy when I was 16 years old, 4 months after the war started. And it was a big thing for me at that time. It was a big jump in my life because I was not a good student. I don't mean I was a bad student. I just had a learning problem. And I went to a Catholic school, and the nuns there were pretty strict. And they didn't really want to wait for me to learn, so they just kept going, and I got farther behind. So when I was 16, I decided, well, I'll probably do better if I join the service and fight for my country. So I did, and I was in the Navy for 4 years. I was on a ship out in the ocean. I've seen the ocean in a typhoon that I was in Okinawa in 1944, where the only place you couldn't see the only place you could not see water was straight up. Water was all around. That's how deep we were down in the gullies. And then I've seen it, the whole ocean, as far as you could see, from horizon to horizon, like a piece of glass. Not a ripple in the ocean except what the ship you were on was making. So, anyway, to begin with, I joined and I went overseas. I got on a destroyer. They put me on a destroyer. And the ship I was on, in fact, this is a pretty close picture of the ship I was on. And I brought some pictures that I'm going to leave with your teacher, and he can pass out to whoever might want one. So anyway, our job was in a convoy of ships. There's cruisers, battleships, aircraft carriers. There might be 70 ships going to a certain point, from point A to point B. And our job was if the enemy shot a torpedo towards one of our battleships or cruisers or aircraft carriers, we were supposed to go in front of that torpedo and take it to keep it from hitting the ship. It was my luck that we never had to do that. So I'm still here to talk about it. We were in the South Pacific. We went to quite a few islands, quite a few ports. And there was an old saying when I was in the service that a sailor had a girlfriend in every port. But that wasn't true because we didn't hit all the ports. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, in 1944 in the Gulf of Leyte in the Philippine Islands. Our ship was hit with a kamikaze plane. Now, if you don't know what a kamikaze plane is, it's a suicide plane. The Japanese were brought up, I call it brainwashed, that if you were a suicide pilot, that was an honor to die for your country. Well, I can relate to that a little bit because I was probably the proudest sailor that ever walked the face of the earth, that I was fighting for my country. So I can see where they could be brainwashed into that. Well, we were hit with a kamikaze plane. We lost 26 men were killed. Well, I say men, I mean, 17, 18 years old. 26 men were killed, 54 were wounded. I was lucky. I didn't get anything. After he hit us and our superstructure went aflame, most everybody had to abandon ship. So we all abandoned ship. We were in the water for probably an hour or so, and the Japanese planes would come down and they would strafe us. In other words, they would